Hello, everyone. My guest today is Karolis Rusenas. He is building a tool that helps you debug webhooks sort of at scale. He's an entrepreneur, full-stack engineer with extensive experience in compute infrastructure, networks, Kubernetes, and developer tooling. The website's webhookrelay.com. Karolis, you ready to take us to the top?
Hey, everyone.
Okay, so explain this tool simply for us, right? People understand a webhook. They understand they build a tool. It has to connect to Stripe, and it uses webhooks to do that. Where does your tool come in?
So main use cases when you want to receive one webhook and then fan out into multiple destinations. For example, if you're integrating it with Segment, HubSpot, or like Zapier, like many tools, so it can do that. Then it can also forward it to your internal networks. So main use case usually is just some service in your internal network, like on like Office network or some cloud provider that doesn't have public IP. They can receive those webhooks without getting exposed to the internet. Like, for example, Jenkins CI, that's like very powerful, but if someone hacks it, then they have access to your whole infrastructure.
So Karolis, explain this to a non-developer for a second, right? So why is it important to be able to test a webhook without being exposed to the internet?
Mostly because your computers, for example, don't really have access to the internet like from outside. Like internet cannot access your laptop unless you configure your router, and also some internet providers don't even give you public IP addresses. And also some services require HTTPS, so you'll need to get a valid certificate for your laptop if you want to test something out. And then if you want to retry or see what kind of request there was and what kind of response you received, it really helps with that.
Got it. And is this a big problem? Do you have customers that are paying to use the tool?
Oh, yeah, quite a few. So I initially built it because I had this problem. I was building a webhook integration for one company that I worked before, Storage.os. And at that point, I thought that there must be a simpler way. I started doing that, and here we are, I think 3 years after.
So how many customers are you working with today?
So currently there are around 10,000 users. Really active ones, I would say around 3,000.
Okay, so 10,000 users, 3K are really active, but how many are paying?
It's around 500.
Around 500. Okay. And how did you launch pricing? I know you're an engineer, so you probably hate thinking about pricing, but how did you think about pricing?
I think I looked into different SaaS systems. I saw how they provide pricing, because obviously it's a very difficult thing to get right, and probably I didn't get it right, so I was just rolling with it. So there were some changes, but I pretty much tried to create these bundles where there is a basic plan that's usually used by solo developers or non-technical users that have, for example, some home assistant deployed on their Raspberry Pis. And then there's standard plan, pro plan for companies that start integrating it into their systems. And then I have some customers who are on custom plans completely. So they pay not through Stripe, but through normal invoicing.
So what's the average customer pay per month, would you say?
I would say around $20 to $50. There's just quite a big range. Some are in thousands, and a lot of them are just $4.50.
Okay. And when did you launch the company? What year?
So I launched it quite a while ago. I think 2017. But for a long time, it was really very small side project that I would spend only a few hours per week. So later on, I really noticed that if your landing page sucks, you really can't move forward. So I iterated a lot on documentation, on landing page, and I think first users started coming a year and a half ago. I noticed that there is an uptick, and I just tried to provide more content, more blog posts, more tutorials.
And have you bootstrapped the company, or did you raise capital?
No, just bootstrapping.
I love that. So you're profitable every month, huh?
Yeah. There's absolutely no scary burn down rate or anything like that. So yeah.
How many people are on the team?
Just me.
Just you. I love that. Okay, so one person, one engineer. And I mean, so can I do the math? Can I take 500 customers times $20 a month? You're doing like $10,000 a month in revenue?
Yeah, something like that. And it's just a single project. I have a few other projects, and I also do consulting on the side. So yeah, it's just one stream of income.
That's great. So what just looking at WebHookRelay, if it's doing $10,000 a month today, what was it doing exactly a year ago?
Probably 1,000.
Oh, wow. So a lot of growth.
Yeah. And it's pretty much no marketing as well. Yeah.
So how are customers finding you?
So I only write some tutorials and blog posts on Medium, Dev2. I also wrote some Twitter bot to like help like with followers, and I have some automations. But yeah, I pretty much try to like get users through content. Like I did try to do some ads on Facebook and Google, but yeah, I think like the quality of users that came from it just wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about what you did on Twitter. So you have 4,700 Twitter followers right now. You're saying you built sort of a tool to get more followers, and then you converted followers into WebHookRelay users?
Yeah. So mostly that. So yeah, I was running this bot that would like look for engineers, try to follow them, and so on. But yeah, Twitter banned me maybe 3 times, suspended my account. So I had to change my tactics.
Mm-hmm. So where do you put up most of your content now?
So mostly just on WebHookRelay blog, and most of the new users actually coming from Google search, where they are looking how to like test like Stripe webhooks or set up their Jenkins testing environment in the company.
Got it. So the Jenkins search is a good one for you. You get a lot of users from that.
Yeah, because I think it's like a real pain point. Lots of corporates don't really want to expose their Jenkins servers to the internet. So a lot of corporate customers are coming through that. It's just like the sales cycle with corporations. It's just so slow. And a lot of hand-holding. So yeah, it does take a lot of time sometimes.
And talk to me about churn. Once people start paying, do they stick? What's your churn look like?
Oh yeah, it's very sticky. Pretty much.
So what percent churns every month?
Around 4%.
Okay, so 4% monthly churn. That's on a revenue basis.
Not really sure.
So if you start the month with $10,000 a month, you'll lose $400 a month in churned revenue.
Oh, but the growth is always also every month. It's around some months, like during coronavirus, it's a bit lower, like 7%. But prior to Corona, it was like 15 to 20%.
In terms of churn or growth?
Growth.
Yeah. So ignore growth for a second. Just look at like lost revenue from the prior month. You'll lose like $400 a month, or about 4%, but you'll grow like 15 or 20%. So net, you're at like 15% growth.
Yeah. So it's difficult to say like with churn. Like as I said, like some months it's 0%. Some months there are some. So like with the last few months, there was churn because some of the companies went bust.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Are you spending any money today on marketing? Like, what's your CAC?
No, nothing.
So it's just your time and writing.
Yeah, I just see that it's like the best option, at least for me at the moment. Yes, it costs me time, which is probably worth more to me. But as I said, that I try to run ads, and I don't know why, but most of the clicks actually don't really go anywhere. Like I remember, like even though I would have like thousands of clicks, like there would only just be few registrations, and then those registrations have to be converted into like paying customers, and then just that didn't happen.
Well, very good. I love it. Bootstrapped to 10K a month. That's great. A very niche specific tool for developers. Karolis, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite book?
Hard to tell. Lots of Isaac Asimov science fiction books. Can't really say it.
Pick one.
Actually, maybe a Chinese author, Three-Body Problem, He Hin Lu. I can't pronounce his name, but...
What's the book title?
Three-body problem.
Three-body problem.
Yeah.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I like Elon Musk, but really not following him too much.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your platform?
Don't have anything. I just build my own things.
You must use some sort of online tools. GitHub?
Let's say GKE. I think that really helped me a lot.
What's it called? Spell it.
GKE. So it's Google Cloud Managed Kubernetes. It's like a platform where you run your applications.
GKE?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
8.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Married, no kids.
Married, no kids. And how old are you?
31.
31. Last question, Karolis. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
Probably just start building sooner.
Guys, there you have it. WebHookRelay.com helps you test API connections and webhooks without having to have exposure to the internet, but from a security perspective and a privacy perspective. It's one of Karolis' side projects. He's got about 500 customers now paying $10, $20 a month. So call it, again, about $10,000 a month in revenue, growing between 10 and 15% month over month. It's just him, completely bootstrapped. He built it for himself back in 2017 and has slowly grown since then based off a content strategy for onboarding. Karolis, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya. One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.